Good day to everyone. I live in a small village. I want to share my story. I got married for a lot of love. Together with my husband, we overcame many difficulties and obstacles. We built a nice big house. I have a successful business. We work together with my husband. It's a good family from the outside, but my husband has been drinking all his life, and very heavily, though at home and it was not much advertised. I've been through everything with him, but we've worked hard and persevered to achieve prosperity and everything we have. But lately, I just didn't have the strength. I didn't dare leave my husband. I thought he would disappear completely. Oh, everyone said you deserved more and better. And so they lived. I really missed the love, attention, and care. I took everything on my shoulders. I just couldn't do it any other way. No one taught me. Sex was never enough for me because of his drunkenness. I haven't been around women, I know for sure. 2 years ago, it so happened, I fell in love at work, and an affair began, which we carefully hid. I got everything I needed, and it wasn't even sex, as we didn't meet often, but long phone conversations and support. But this man was married, and I felt a sense of guilt in front of his family. I decided that enough was enough, and we stopped dating. Remained on good terms. You could say friends. Having decided that it was necessary to improve life in the family, the whole family went on vacation. But it was already too late. Apparently, the husband felt something, though he was silent. Or maybe he didn't want to know anything, so as not to hurt himself. How many times have I mentally asked him to stop me, pay attention to me, caress me, say a kind word, but he pushed me away. I wanted to fix everything. That's where the fun started. On vacation, he only drank and behaved rudely towards me and the child. It wasn't anything good.
Sad. As it turned out, later, he had a woman, and he just cooled down to me. But I didn't know that at the time. When we got home, I got sick, somber, and very seriously, the reckoning for my sin has come. Distressed, I couldn't walk for several months. Shocked. It was a shock to everyone. I am a young, beautiful woman, and I suddenly went to bed. Their romance was gaining momentum. Tired, I spent 2 months in the hospital. Frustrated, I learned to walk again, almost became disabled, and no one took care of me. Resilient, she coped, thanks to her perseverance and character. Betrayed, and when I was almost on my feet, my husband packed up and left when I found out everything. Disgusted, he went to live with a woman 10 years older than me, with no prospects and 2 children. Shocked, everyone is in shock. Defeated, I quit my job and my house. Thoughtful, people say she needs money, but without me, he'll have to start all over again. Oh, I'm alive. Repentant, I pray for him, for myself, and repent of what I have done. Determined, I've changed my attitude to many things and I'm working on myself. Crying, it's still hard. I'm crying and I don't know what's going to happen next. Resigned.
The second story.
I'm Aliona. I'm 25. The story started 6 years ago. It was summer. We were walking along the embankment with friends. A guy passed by, tall, with a good figure, moderately pumped up, under 2 meters tall and very handsome. His phone rang and he asked to call. We had a conversation, and one meeting, we didn't stop there. As time went on, we got closer and closer. I really liked him. I fell head over heels in love with him. Sergei was unemployed. At first, he didn't have much money. But I liked the fact that he always came up with something, was able to surprise. It was good and fun and calm with him. So he was there and nothing would happen. Well, there is no such situation that he would not cope. There is always something, he'll figure it out. We dated for a year. And then Serioza rented an apartment, and we began to build a family nest. Of course. And we fought. But what a family without light scandals. Serioza began to earn a decent living, which was amazing. He worked as a personal driver without a tower. He worked a lot, and often went on business trips. But he did not leave without attention. It seemed that he was right next to him, only in the next room. When I had trips abroad, business trips, he took me with him. Life seemed like heaven on earth. As soon as I asked for something, and it appeared, all my friends envied me. Half a year later, we got married. Everything was fine. But routine began to appear. Courtship became less. There was a crisis in the relationship. Paradise was ending as it seemed to me, and Serioza was beginning to lose color for me. There were times when it seemed to me that love had replaced habit. Everything became somehow monotonous. Serioza started building a house. He didn't want to live in an apartment, and insisted that he build our nest himself. As he called it, the shack. 2 years ago, I graduated from university and went to work. Met a guy at work, 27 years old, handsome, promising. He began to resemble Serioza before marriage. Anton was burning like fire next to him. Persistent, stubborn, with humor. At first, we just talked as colleagues. Sometimes we had lunch together. But later, Anton started pushing, offered to go for a walk, invited me on a date, courted me, and I slowly began to give in. I liked it. It quickly turns my head, as if emerging from underwater. We went to a cafe once, and then we just texted and talked at work. Life began to play with new colors. All my thoughts were only about Anton. But I was afraid that Serioza would find out about it and then the end. I didn't even think that a big betrayal would begin with such trifles. So, Serioza was sent on another business trip for 3 days, and before he left, we had a bit of a fight, and for some reason, I invited Anton for a drink. Anton agreed in one fell swoop and rushed to me, prepared. We drank. I poured out my soul to him, how tired I was, and how tired I was. Anton clung to me, hugged me, calmed me down, and began to show activity. Kissing began. He terribly excited my head, and what happened, happened. At that moment, Serioza's trip was canceled and he returned back. The locks in the door began to open, and it became clear that this was the end. Serioza quietly entered the door, saw unfamiliar sneakers, and went into the room. I was lying on the bed. Anton was next to me, and Serioza was standing over us. I was ready to sink into the ground at that moment. Serioza began to scream wildly, and he was ashamed, scared, and disgusted with himself. Serioza grabbed Anton and just threw him out the door, followed by his belonging. Tears began to flow. I was shaking. Seryosa stood over me again and just looked at me. I tried to explain something to him, apologized, begged for forgiveness, swore that I would not do it anymore. Seryosa turned around and began to leave. I followed him. He got into the car. Coldly, "You made a choice," until I still remember his phrase when we were getting divorced. Bitterly, "If the vase is broken, then it's just fragments now."
Seryosa did not want to forgive me in any way. I came to his work. I came to his house. He did not even want to communicate in any way. I decided to try to meet him through his friend, who didn't know anything. Or maybe he did. Just kept quiet, talked to his friend, found out about Seryosa, and nothing worked out for me. I immersed myself completely in my work. I started drinking on weekends. You drink wine and it's easier, trailing off. But my soul is torn to pieces. You understand what kind of firewood you've broken and how to fix it. No one knows how to fix it. Life is not a movie. You really want to, but you can't rewind time. I immediately wanted to break up with Anton. Surprised he broke up himself. Came to work and asked me not to approach him anymore. Thoughtful. But I want to say that as soon as you lose, then you understand who and how you love. You understand who and what you lost. Self-reproachful. You're a fool, frustrated. I had a loving husband, a bright future. And what was missing? Frustrated, the shores, exasperated. There were not enough shores. I've lost my spatial orientation and fucked up everything, growls. A month ago, I saw him with his new girlfriend, standing as we used to stand, hugging her the same way. And I'm so sad that he hugs her, not me, that he loves her, everything that I had. Now she has all the affection, all the love, all of Seryosa's ideality is hers now. Jealous, I'm jealous. Frustrated, I know I'm wrong, but I'm jealous. I know you can't bring it back. And in the evenings I sit and think, well, how can I ask him to talk to me? At least just to talk. Pleading, annoyed. I know that he's fine. And he brought her to his house. Not he's sleeping with her. And I'm jealous, and jealous now. Thoughtful. You quickly lose your head from good things. Unnoticeably. But the payback is too expensive. Cautionary. Think about it first. But is it even worth starting? Resigned. I'm 25. There were 2 guys after Seryosa. But that's not it. Well, they're not like that. They may not be bad, but they're not like Seryosa. Well, they're different. Sadly, believe me,